Hi and welcome to GeoWiz training. My name is Sarah. I am in the safety department, and today I wanted to go over how you're going to interact with your tablet and GeoWiz, which is our ELD provider, in the course of a day, and how to make some edits and do a fuel log. So when you log into your tablet, you are presented with this. This is the home screen. And the easiest way then to utilize the system, in my opinion, is to use a Start My Day feature. And to do that, you're going to go to the menu, which is the three horizontal lines in the top left-hand corner. And you'll see the third one down is Start My Day. And if you tap on the Start My Day, it's going to walk you through the things that you need to do to avoid some of those form and manner violations. And so it's telling me that I already certified yesterday's log. That's why there's a check mark there. Otherwise it would give you the option to do that. So it's taking me to the next one, which just says perform pre-trip inspection. So you'll see this right here is a big button. Down here, the items that still need to be completed. So I'm going to tap on perform the pre-trip inspection. In this case, I'm telling it that I'm going to do a pre-trip on my tractor. And you'll notice that your tractor number should automatically pre-fill right here. Indicate that it is a pre-trip. My odometer is correct. Then you just scroll down here, and it says only select the items that need repair. So as you're doing your walk around, I'm going to scroll down. You have a section for notes here. And then these are the actual where you're going to select the conditions at the bottom. Now, if you've made a repair to your truck in the course of your pre-trip inspection, you can make a note in it here if you choose to, that you changed a rear light. I'm just making a note in there. If you click anywhere outside of that, it'll take you back here. And in this case, I'm not going to select that because I've already made the correction here. I'm not going to make any other repairs. It doesn't need to go to see a mechanic for that, and it certainly should not be driven. So in this case, I'm going to put a check mark next to acceptable vehicle can be driven. Now, all DVIRs do need to be signed. That is a regulation. So in this case, I'm going to use my stylus on my tablet and sign my name here. And then at the bottom, this says save. I've saved my signature, and then you'll see I have another save button. And that save button is to save the actual DVIR, and it tells me my inspection was saved. And it is asking me if I need to inspect my trailer. For the purposes of training today, we're going to skip over that because you simply are going to put in your trailer number and follow the exact same steps. Well, I'm going to select no in this case. Now it's asking me for my manifest or shipping documents, so any bill of lading information is where you're going to put this information in. Now if you don't have your information just yet, I will show you where we can get to that later in the day. So I'm going to put in my bill of lading numbers here, and then I just hit next. Now it told me I didn't do it on a pre-trip inspection. You can see the red mark there. But it does say you are ready to start your day, and then you are presented with another button that says go. I tap on that. And this is going to take you to your graph grid log for the day. So you can see that the system automatically put me on duty as soon as I performed my pre-trip inspection. But you won't have to make any other changes to that. Okay? If you do have this error message at the bottom, it says plug-in not powered on or out of range. One of two things is happening. Either your truck is not powered on, or you do need to unplug your plug-in and plug it back in because you're having an error message that it's not reading that information correctly. So it should be pulling that information for you correctly. So if you have an orange error message at the bottom, please take a few minutes, unplug it, and plug it back in and reinitialize it. Okay, so we already went over Start My Day. The next thing that I want to touch on is tools, because you'll be up in tools a lot during the course of your day. I said I would show you where to enter your manifest and shipping information, and it's right there in the top corner. Now I've already entered one for the day, but if you had started your day or you have another one to add throughout the day, you can always come in here and add another one at any point. Make sure, of course, that your tractor ID is in there. I'm the safety department, and I'm going to hit done. Okay, so that's where you're going to enter in your shipping information if you have not entered it when you did the Start My Day. Also under Tools is where you're going to enter a fuel log. Make sure that your truck is selected. For IFTA reporting purposes, we simply need to know the total gallons purchased. I'm just going to select a nice even number, and the total cost. And that's all you have to put in that field. Now I just tapped anywhere outside of that box, and I'm going to save it. Fuel information does not have to be signed. Okay, I'm back to my graph grid for the day. And again, while we're up here in Tools, let's go ahead and hit on a super important one, which is Inspect Logs. If you get a roadside inspection, this is where you're going to go. You're going to go to Tools, Inspect Logs, and simply follow the directions. So in this case, it says hand the device to the inspector. You hit Continue. And this is what the inspector sees on their screen. And they're going to use the arrow buttons to arrow forward or backward through the last 7 days. Now, if you're nosy and you choose to go in here, you're welcome to do that at any time. From this screen, you can't really make any edits or changes. If they ask you to send the log here, you would simply enter in, that's my email address right there. You don't want to send it to me, but you certainly are just going to type in an email address right there, and then you're going to send the log. Okay, I'm going to cancel out of that. When you're all done with all of this, you hit the word back at the top. It's going to say either continue inspecting or done. You would tap done. It'll take you back to your ELD page for today. So the next one that comes up a lot is, how do I edit my log? So I'm going to go to yesterday's log, actually. Now, I've already certified yesterday's log, which means I've signed it. So to uncertify it, you just click on that button at the top. It asks you, do you want to unlock this log? I'm going to say, yes, I do. Okay, so the certified little lock symbol went away at the top. And in this case now, I can go in here and just hit edit. And there's 2 ways you can edit it. You can either use these arrows at the top and drag that across, okay, or you can use these time buttons at the bottom. So in this case, I'm going to say 6:20. And I'm going to say from midnight to 6:20 that I was on duty, not driving. So all that I've done there is told it that from midnight to 6:20, and then select the correct duty status at the bottom. The graph grid changes at the top. That's all you have to do, and then you hit the back button. Now you'll see my log changes here. Oh, it will show as a manual edit. Please note that the regulations state that you are allowed to make all the edits that you like. You just cannot edit the driving time. The log is required to show that, but they can't hold that against you that you had to make a manual edit. In this case then, I'm going to go ahead and go to today's log. Just hit the Today button at the top. And when it's time to take your 30-minute break, you have a couple options right here. This is where you can manually change your duty status. If you tap on that, it's going to tell me that I left yesterday's log uncertified. So I'm going to go ahead and recertify yesterday's. Again, it's going to put my signature at the top, save it at the bottom, and now I can go back to today's log and change my duty status. Right here, there is an option to take your 30-minute break. You can either use that as a button, or you can simply go to off duty. They're both the same. The only difference is when you select take my 30-minute break, is that it gives you a little countdown in orange right here under your duty status. Okay, pretty simple. Next thing I want to touch on are some of these buttons at the top. We already talked about tools. We know how to certify the log. This one you don't have to worry about, the CDL button. The normal button you might want to learn how to use. If you tap on normal, that's going to be your everyday driving moves, because you do want the system to do as much of it automatically for you, so that you don't have to keep interacting with it all the time. So that's what you're going to leave it as normal. However, if you get to a customer location and you are in their yard and you need to move your truck and you don't want it to count against your drive time, you are going to select Yard Moves. Now you'll see here, it's going to tell you you can't select Yard Move unless you're on duty. Please note now that if you are at a customer location, you try to do a yard move, you can't do that at the same time that you're taking your 30-minute break. So in this case, I'm going to tell it that I am now on duty, not driving. I'm going to say it's okay, I did not complete my break. Now that I'm on duty, I can tell it that I'm doing a yard move. You're going to see at the top, it says here, it says green in yard. So again, that's when you're at a customer location, you need to move your truck. But you don't want it to count against your drive time, so it's on duty and then yard move. Also, that same button is where you have authorized personal use. Authorized personal use can only be used if you're completely unladen and you are not dispatched for any reason. So if you are done at the end of the day, you don't have your dispatch for tomorrow and you want to bobtail it home, that's when you would select here that you're doing authorized personal use. Now in this case, you get a different error message if you try to select that incorrectly. It says you cannot select personal conveyance unless you are off duty. In this case, you can hit continue, go off duty, right here, select off duty, back to the button at the top, select authorized personal use. Now it's hard to see on the graph grid here, but what will happen as the time moves forward is that the graph grid will actually show a dotted line when you're using personal conveyance, so it'll look a little bit different than everyday's logs. So if you want to go back and you need to edit any one of these, you'll see here there's my off-duty personal. If you need to edit any one of these, you simply just hit the edit button on that time frame. Okay, and I'm going to say, oh shoot, I actually went on duty here. Let's just say I want to change just this time from 6:45 a.m. to 12:45. I was actually on duty, not driving. You'll see the graph grid changed. You hit the back button. Now it does still give you the option, of course, to enter a DVIR at any point during the day that you touch a trailer. You should be doing a DVIR on that. The easiest way to do that during the course of your day is to go in here, at a customer location. I'm going to hit DVIR. I'm doing it on a trailer. It's going to ask for your trailer number. It is a pre-trip. Same thing applies, only select the items that need repair. Now please note in this case that if you have something that's in the yard that you've gotten fixed in the yard, again, you don't necessarily have to indicate that on these DVIRs. You can simply correct it before you take it out on a public roadway. Since it's been corrected, you can say acceptable vehicle can be driven. And like I said before, DVIRs do need to be signed per the regulation to be valid. I'm going to put my little signature on there. Save your signature. Save the DVIR. Now I'm already off duty for the end of the day doing my personal conveyance, which you can see at the bottom of my log here. So in this case, I don't have to log out just yet. I can leave it here. I can close out of GeoWiz. For the end of my day, I'm on my way home. And what will happen is the next day when you log back in, it'll ask you to certify today's log. Because every log does have to account for a 24-hour time period. So just remember that if you're ever stuck somewhere you can't remember why it won't let you certify your log, you have to have a full 24 hours just like we did for yesterday. And that'll end today's training. If you've got any questions, please call into the safety department. You can reach us at 219-476-1300. Thanks.